Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Big Hitters FPL podcast. We've got a deadline stream coming up for you today. The Game Week 33 deadline just 28 minutes and 11 seconds away, as you can see with our beautiful new countdown in the corner. So that's counting down every second until the deadline. We've also got the chat on the right, as you can see, so make sure if you have any questions or topics for us to discuss, and if you want to spam Tomato out, as I'm sure you all will, then put it in the chat and we'll be happy to answer all your questions. As usual, make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Big Hitters FPL, and join our Fantasy Premier League. The code is 01TOQK. Talking of the league, the standings are as follows. In fifth place, we've got Ivar the Boneless, Kenny Mohlala, who's on 748. Fourth, we've got Rubber Ducky FC, Oliver Cunningham, with 752. Third, dropped a bit, is Farouk050, Abdullah Al Farah, who's on 770. Second is a newcomer, Jack's Tiny Shin Pads, Kieran Cotter, 774. And 15 points clear at the top is Konichi Wan-Bissaka, Kaz Brash. So well done to Konichi Wan-Bissaka. Got a bit of breathing space, at the top. Not much competition. So if you think that you can knock Konichi Wan-Bissaka off the top spots, then join our league. And without further ado, let's get on with the stream. So first things first, it was a long game week 32. So when we did our preview podcast on Tuesday, we didn't show you how our game week 32 went. So I think we'll do that now that the game week's over. And we'll start with Ludo, who had a pretty amazing week.
Yeah, I'd a good week, 82 points, with a very good game week rank. So I'm very happy about that. I took that -8 hit. Didn't really pay off, but a bit annoyed that I had some points on my bench, 9 points and 5 points. So yeah, the defense was pretty good. I thought the team worked well from a defensive aspect. Very compact and solid. Shaw obviously conceded a game against Burnley, sorry. So not the greatest of games for him. And more for Salah or Souček. Those three players blanked for me. Not too many, luckily. But Salah getting dropped, coming off the bench. Quite a big topic, considering that he comes with a hefty price tag. Pretty good week overall, though.
Nice, well done. 82, brilliant score. Next is Jake.
So mine was still, pretty decent. Obviously, not quite as good as Ludo's. I think the average was 47 points. That's still 12 points above average. Obviously, with -4 hit. 2 millionth in the world. Probably about average. My defense, as you can see, really not great, and it hasn't been over the last couple of weeks. So, as Pilaqueta didn't play, Digne conceded twice against City. Not against City. Digne, he... let me get this right.
Digne?
He conceded twice against Spurs. And Cresswell on my bench, he was injured, so didn't play as well. My two transfers, Iheanacho and Lingard, did pretty well. 13 points between the two of them for 4 hits, so definitely paid off. And then captaincy worked out pretty well with Kane, although he didn't play in the second. Some scored. But yeah, pretty decent overall, I'd say.
I think. No one came off your bench.
Digne came off my bench, and Martinez, came off my bench for Leno, who didn't start.
Yeah, but Aspilicueta, replacing him.
Yeah, and then my week was a little bit worse than Jake. Oh, what's going on there? Jesse Lingard has duplicated himself. Um, that is a bit odd. Well, that's kind of how I feel. He kind of saved me this week, so I thought maybe, double up. Um, and Lingard, yep, scored. But apart from that, pretty shocking week. I think in the end, one, two, three of my players got zero. So that's Leno, Cresswell, and Azpilicueta. So I got Martinez and Bamford off the bench. Neither of whom did well at all. Captain Kane obviously did well, but missed the second game. Not ideal, but we move on from that. And my new signing, Semedo, who has got a lot of criticism, let's just say. He shone through the pressure and got a clean sheet. He was actually one of my highest performers, but 52 points for me. 4 hit brings it down to 48. 3.3 millionth in the world in terms of game week rank. I've dropped quite a lot in the Big Hitters League down to 15th. I've dropped in our school league down to 4th. I'm losing out on the title race. And not a good week for me. One to forget very, very quickly. Right, let's go back here with 21 minutes left of the deadline. The chat's gone a bit Semedo out heavy. But I did see a question from, I think, Danielle at the top, who said, "Who are you transferring now? Who are you transferring in, Noah?" And that's of course because he overtook me, had a brilliant week himself. Well done, Danielle. But this is going to answer your question because let's do our team reveal. We'll open with mine. This is what my team's looking like. One transfer made to get to this, but injuries really are killing my team here. Cresswell, and Rafinha, and then Phillips on the bench got ruled out. So I could be looking at playing with just 9 players. Not good, but I'm considering a late 4 hit to get maybe Danya in. But we'll talk about that later. Apart from that, Martinez comes back in goal. Semedo again. Love that. Azpilicueta hopefully will start. Jota, my new signing. And Salah captain. Fernandez vice. Lingard. And then up top, Iheanacho and Bamford. So that's how my team's looking. Injuries kind of ruining it though. Next is Ludo's team.
Yeah. 5 at the back. Some good fixtures at the back. Obviously, Sanchez, who's in great form at the minute, he gets the no one because Lloris is not playing. He's blanking. So my 3 Tottenham players are all on the bench, along with Souček. So quite a solid team. However, I think I will be doing a live transfer, live on stream. So very dramatic. I was thinking about transferring out Kane and getting Jamie Vardy, who of course is in great form and has got great fixtures, and he is a captaincy option as well. So that if he does come in, then he will be replacing Smith Rowe. So Smith Rowe will go back to the bench because I don't think he starts every week as well. So pretty happy with my team. So I'm still debating on what to do. It's probably going to be Vardy.
Going to give you some Arsenal insight there. I'm not sure why Jake shrunk. Hopefully he'll come back. That is quite weird. I'm not gonna lie. I changed that. Should I just quickly try and fix that? Enlarging him. Oh, that's
Lower.
bad. So just from an Arsenal fan's perspective, I would say that Smith Rowe definitely starts, but I can see why you want to bench him. And then finally, this is Jake's team.
Yeah. So I've made some progress.
Oh, wow. Jeez Louise. Jake has gone big. I should have just waited because it was going to come back itself, wasn't it? Anyway, that was a bit odd. So we'll just stick Jake there. Let's go back to PowerPoint. As you are, Jake.
Okay. So yeah, as I was saying, I've made some progress since last time. So I've decided on my mystery defender, which might cause some controversy. I'm bringing Semedo in.
Way!
And obviously, I wasn't here for the deadline stream last week, so to be honest, I still don't really have any idea what went on. So yeah, and then what I'm still undecided about is whether to transfer out Digne or Cresswell. And Moyes earlier today has given out a statement saying that Cresswell will be assessed before the match against Chelsea, which is pretty vague. So I don't know if he's going to start or not. And I'd want Cresswell over Digne for the rest of the season. And Cresswell should be back next week anyway. So I'm leaning towards transferring Digne out, who's more expensive anyway, so I'll have more money in the bank if need be. And then obviously brought in Salah as well for Son, who's blanking. That should be for the rest of the season now. And captaining him in this week against Newcastle, Vicon Fernandez. And yeah, Bamford and Iheanacho up top as well.
So what I'm gathering from this team reveal is that we still have a lot to decide on. But we'll come back to our teams just before the deadline. For now, we've got a question here from FPL Ginge. He says, would you when Vardy and budget defender or Bamford and TEA? I assume he means would you go? So Vardy and budget defender or Bamford and Alexander-Arnold. Thoughts, guys?
In my opinion, I'd go Bamford and Alexander-Arnold. Firstly, because Vardy, yes, he got a goal and assist against West Brom, but he's not been in great form. He's blanked quite a few times before West Brom. And Bamford, after Man United this week, has got great fixtures till the end of the season, and obviously Liverpool do as well, and Trent is in great form, so in my opinion, that would be who I'd go for.
Yeah, I would go, to be honest, it depends who is the budget defender. Because Bamford isn't in the greatest of form. So, for example, if you would go, say, Vardy and Cody, then I go for them too. It really depends on what that budget defender is. But I'm assuming it's around the 5 million mark.
I would say a bit cheaper.
Bit cheaper.
Budget defender's normally around like 4.5, isn't it?
4.5. Okay. Well, let me just see who is. So we have.
I would say, like, if you're looking, because obviously you probably want a Liverpool defender, and if it's not Alexander-Arnold, then the budget defender is Nat Phillips, who's injured, but for the rest of the season looked quite good.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking around that 4.5 mark, you could go for a Brighton defender, who are playing a very weak Sheffield United side. So to be honest, in my opinion, you could go for Konza as well. But in my opinion, I would go for Vardy and a budget defender.
He says it's probably Holding.
Yeah. I think he means Konza, does he?
Maybe, yeah.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, so I'd still go for that because I think, yeah, Jamie Vardy's a fantastic player, and Vardy against. Yeah, I can. It's a very good question, to be honest. Yeah. So, well done him for coming up for such a good question.
Personally, I would.
You said. No, go on.
I'd say I think I'd agree with Ludo, and I'd probably go Vardy and a budget defender, and I'd probably go Holding as the budget defender because I think he's pretty nailed for the rest of the season. David Luiz maybe David Luiz coming back could make him a rotation risk, especially with Europa League, but I think he'll be fine. Arsenal's fixtures, as we know, are pretty brilliant, and I think Vardy over Bamford just about because I think Bamford again he's looked a bit shaky, I'd say, and I think Leeds could be on the beach potentially if secured safety ages ago. Nothing really to play for higher up the table, so I'd probably go Vardy and Holding personally. Next thing to take a look at is the fixtures that are coming up in Game Week 33. Starting off with Arsenal tonight, then Liverpool, Newcastle, West Ham, Chelsea, Sheffield United, Brighton on Saturday, Wolves, Burnley, Leeds United versus United, Villa, West Brom on Sunday, and Leicester Palace on Monday. So I think it's the time of the week where one of us will spotlight a game. And I think is it Ludo spotlighting this week, or is it Jake, or is it me?
Yeah. I mean, we can all spotlight one.
I think keep it to one, but who wants to do it?
I don't mind.
I think it's your go, Noah.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I
really?
think in my opinion it's pretty obvious.
Well, are you going to go Chelsea? I'll actually go Leeds United. Whenever I say that, it sounds like I'm saying Leeds United. I need to say
Yeah.
Leeds versus Manchester United. Anyway, I'd go Leeds United because obviously last time out it was 6-2 to United, not Leeds. And I think if you're not free hitting, which not many people are, then you're probably going to be left with quite a few United and Leeds players because they're probably quite handy for the rest of the season. And I think I could see a lot of goals again. I think definitely no clean sheet in it for either team. I think you're looking at some differentials from United like Greenwood and Cavani. You're looking at obviously Bruno Fernandes, and you're looking at Leeds. You're looking at Bamford. Maybe not Rafinha because he's injured now. But I'd say probably a very entertaining one to watch and a very interesting one from an FPL perspective. So that will be my spotlight for the week. 10 minutes to go. So I
Yeah.
think we'll just do one last thing, and we'll go
Yeah,
to.
we have a question in the chat actually.
I think we'll talk about that at the end because I don't think it's FPL related, so we can talk about that after the deadline.
Yeah, and just to confirm that I've actually brought in Vardy for Kane, so it's confirmed.
Ooh.
My team is locked in. So some late drama. So Smith. The question is, should I play Smith Rowe first or Souček second? So on the bench. So what would you go for, guys?
Oh, I'm just going to very quickly just show the perfect 11. Sorry, I'll just show this because you guys have obviously voted for these on Instagram and Twitter, and these are the results. Martinez in goal, Dunk, Alexander-Arnold and Fofana make up the back three. Midfield four, Lingard, Bruno Weiss, Jota, Salah captain, and then up top Cavani, who beat Timo Werner, much to Ludo's disappointment, Bamford and Iheanacho. So nice looking team there for game of 33. Back to what Ludo was saying. I think should we put his team back on the PowerPoint just to show?
Yeah, sure. But so yeah, I am actually playing 5-2-3.
Should I
So
update
very.
it?
I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if the viewers want to.
Wait, so who's being benched?
So Smith Rowe is coming out and
Mm.
Vardy is coming in. So a
Okay, let
5.
me work on that.
Yeah. I'm not sure if there's a blank screen or if it's just.
No, it's
Oh.
just you guys.
Um,
So why did you go for Vardy in the end? Because surely Kane would have been quite good for the rest
yeah.
of the season.
Well, Kane is obviously blanking. Vardy's got great fixtures as well.
Spurs do till the end of the season as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. So I'm not. It might be a 1 or 2 week punt, depending on Kane's injury. So yeah. So I'm very happy with my decision. Yeah. But I also wanted to talk about something that some captaincy actually that we haven't really talked about.
Go on. Yeah.
Something in which I am not confirmed. At the minute, I've got Salah as captain. However, what do you guys think? Will he be rotated? Is there any? Are there any rumours or anything that he might get dropped?
No, I mean he got his rest last week, so he should play this week.
Yeah, this is Ludo's updated team with Vardy slotting in pretty nicely. On the captaincy thing, I'd say pretty nailed Salah to start. I think had his rest, so I think he'll definitely play. Should we take a look at our captaincy slide? These are the 4 we've shortlisted. Some interesting differentials there. I've seen a lot of people go for an Iheanacho captain. Do you guys think that's a decent idea?
Yeah, obviously not a bad shout with the form he's in and the fixture he's got this week. But I think Salah, with the fixture off Fernandes, is always the more trustworthy option.
Okay, so are you going to captain Salah,
Uh,
Ludo,
yeah, should do.
or Jake?
Jake, you can go first.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Salah. I mean, obviously.
And Ludo?
I think I'll
Oh,
stick with.
sorry.
No, I
Go
was
on.
going to say, obviously, Fernandes did well against Leeds last time he played them. But that was when he was in amazing form, and obviously he's declined since then, so I'm going to stick with Salah.
Yeah, I'm going safe. Well, kind of safe. I don't have Fernandes, so I think obvious pick would be Salah. Something also to look at would be the 2 Leicester assets up front. However, I think it might be a bit risky. They're in great form, but obviously, Iheanacho is in great form. However, he doesn't have the experience of Jamie Vardy, and for Jamie Vardy, he might get rested. Obviously, we need to acknowledge that he's a great player, but he's about 34 years old.
Mhm.
Quite an impressive
Yeah.
number.
Yeah. I would also, who else I would consider for captaincy for you, Ludo? Alexander Arnold. I think
Yeah,
the clean sheet's pretty nailed there, and then you're looking at assists
yeah,
and goals and bonuses.
yeah. I think yeah. However, I think you're weak. It on paper it does seem a nailed-on clean sheet. However, you know, you just never know. And if he does concede and he does blank, then that's your week ruined. So I'd say it's a bit of a risk. It could pay off, but I'm not ready to take that risk.
I mean, Newcastle have surprised in the last couple of weeks, in scoring quite a few
Yeah,
goals.
true.
And also, I think last time, well, in the reverse,
0-0.
I think it was 0-0. Yeah.
Yeah.
Newcastle defended brilliantly. Obviously, it was at St James's Park, slightly different location this time.
Right then, 4 minutes to the deadline, and I have still not decided my team. So, if you guys don't mind, I think we should talk about that a bit because I have.
Forgetting about me.
Have you got a transfer to make?
Well, I don't know if I'm transferring Cresswell or Dean. You're out.
I'd say Dina, but this is basic. So I've got a similar thing to you, which is I want to get Castagna in, and it's either Cresswell or Diaz who makes way for me.
Yeah.
That's the question, and I've got 3 minutes to make the transfer and confirm it.
Personally, I'd say Diaz out. And I think Cresswell has obviously much more attacking potential. Yes, he's injured, but he should be back next week. Got better fixtures till the end of the season. And I think City are declining. And I'm not saying this because I'm a United fan. But, City are going to drop points. I mean, they conceded in the first minute against Villa. They're not looking as strong as they were. I think United could catch up.
And also, it would be really nice to get rid of the Pep Roulette from my team completely. That would just be really nice.
So sorry. Who was it? Was it either
Diaz or Cresswell out and Castagna in?
Well, Cresswell has got He's got a hard fixture against Chelsea. I think we can all agree that Chelsea are at the minute one of the best teams in Europe. And as an Arsenal fan, you can't argue with that. So sorry, Noah, but so it's going to be a tough fixture. However, Diaz is blanking as well. So it's I would transfer out Cresswell. Diaz he's not often rotated, is he? He's been so good, and I think there's a risk of you can either get, even if you have got a couple of, you can either get 0 for Diaz or about -2 for Cresswell, because we all know that West Ham are going to concede 7 against Chelsea. But yeah.
Okay, well, I've listened to you both, and I've decided to listen to Jake on this case.
Thank
I'm
you.
about to confirm it on my phone. Diaz out, Castagna in. I'm mostly basing that on.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm mostly basing that on the fact that I reckon, because they said about Cresswell that he'll be assessed. So to me, that sounds like he's still got a decent enough chance of playing this week, and if not this week, definitely next week. So I think
that's
I'm
the
gonna.
right decision.
Well, I'm not. No, I'm doing it. Diaz out, Castagna in. Confirmed.
Well, the crowd is.
Okay, now Jake. Did you say you had a problem? You've got 1 minute to deal with it.
Yeah, thanks for leaving me 30 seconds.
Sorry.
So yeah, it's just Digne or Cresswell out. And I think,
for who?
being as I've given you the advice to keep Cresswell, I'm pretty sure that I'm transferring
You should keep
Digne out for Semedo.
Oh.
So is that Digne out?
Digne out.
For who?
Who in?
Semedo.
Oh, well then.
Wait, what? So your team's gone a bit. Your team on here is a bit wrong.
No, well, essentially, I knew I was transferring Semedo in, but there's one spot for either Diaz or Cresswell.
Oh, so it's going to be Cresswell, is it?
Yes.
Well,
okay, cool.
Well, just saying, Jake, that. I think that you'll get plenty of negativity by that transfer. Cody's cheaper. Actually, just do size.
It looks like our timer has glitched a bit because it started again.
Oh.
But the deadline's passed. Some beacon news there.
We had a few questions, didn't we? I think.
Yeah, looks like we do. So let's probably stop the timer because that's going to go on forever. Stop that. And so yeah, so we got a question about the Super League, didn't we?
Yep.
So let's talk about that. Of course, it completely crumbled on about, what was it, Tuesday, I think it was in the end. Just a day after it started. So yeah, are you guys happy?
Well, yeah.
I guess you're happy.
I think I'm very happy because it would have destroyed football. I mean, yes, perhaps it would have been entertaining seeing, big teams clash and so on, but it's nice to have underdogs in football as well. And I think not only damaged football, but it also damaged it from an economical point of view. So, and the Premier League also would be nothing with the Big Six. So obviously, I'm glad that didn't come through, and I like to give a shout out to those Chelsea fans who went to protest at Stamford Bridge. So it was great support. And essentially, Chelsea fans were the first people to sort of to persuade Chelsea to withdraw, and after Chelsea withdrew, then all the others withdrew. So I think well done just to the Chelsea fan base. There are no words to thank you.
Yeah.
I think Ludo pretty much summed it up, other than all the Chelsea waffle. But yeah, obviously, definitely glad that it's not happening.
I've got the timer working, so it does say that deadline is passed now, which is good. Yeah, I largely agree with you guys. I know I told Ludo and Jake that I was very excited about the Super League, and I know Ludo wasn't very happy with that. But yeah, obviously I'm happy it's gone, sorry. Because yeah, I don't think you can beat, Fulham taking a point off Arsenal, and West Brom beating Chelsea 5-2, and Sheffield United beating Manchester United. See what I've done there? I've shamed all three of our teams, nice and fair. And yeah, I just think that's what makes the Prem great. I think as an idea, it was pretty corrupt and all about the money, and I don't think Tottenham and Arsenal particularly deserve to be there. Again, slandering my own team, and I respect that. But what I will say, I know there's not many people watching this anymore because the deadline's gone, but I will say that one thing that's gone under the radar, and I've spoken about this before, is there's a new Champions League format taking place starting in 2024, which was announced on Monday morning, but nobody saw it because of the whole Super League thing, which came about at the same time. But this new format is broken. It's wrong, completely wrong. Not quite as bad as the Super League. Maybe it's not quite as bad because it's still named the UEFA Champions League, but it's wrong. It changed the whole Champions League. I'll just lay out a few of the changes, but instead of group stages, there's now a league phase, where there's leagues of 18 people, 2 leagues, and one big league. Everyone plays 10 games, and the top 8 qualify for the knockouts. The next um the next 16 after that qualify for playoffs, and then it's the knockout stage. So already in total, that's a jump from 125 matches in a whole Champions League campaign to 225. So again, all about the money for UEFA. And another thing is, I saw a thing where if in 2024 West Ham finished 5th in the Champions League and Manchester United finished 6th, then Manchester United will qualify for the Champions League. That's not okay.
Wait.
That is not based on performances. That is based on history and money. So I think that's got to change.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that actually. But I actually saw Gundogan tweet something saying that
Yeah.
there are 100 more games and there's nothing. Players aren't robots. And I just think it increases injuries. And I think the Champions League is special because it happens rarely. Like the big games happen rarely. So obviously it's gone under the radar in the Super League. If this format was introduced when talk wasn't there, then I'd say there'd be a lot more criticism. And I think there'll be a lot more criticism to come, and it has to be resolved. I think the fans and we've showed as a wider football community that we can change things and influence decisions, just like the Chelsea fans at Stamford Bridge. But yeah.
Well said, lads. I think we'll end it there for the deadline stream. We'll have one, of course, our usual slot at 6 p.m. next week for another deadline stream. Hope you have enjoyed this one. Hope you enjoyed our Super League chat at the end. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you on the next one. But for now, goodbye.